While in today's day and age, most of you guys know me for being the voice here on GameLeap Apex's channel, but at one point I was like most of you. I was still learning the game, trying to figure out ranked and what worked for me and what didn't, and learning the best ways to climb. I know what it's like to painfully claw your way out of ranks because I've been there. I know what a lot of you are going through. Fast forwarding to today though, I've hit Predator twice. I've played and placed high in multiple Apex tournaments and have thousands of hours in the game. I've helped coach a bunch of players in multiple different ranks to help them hit new peaks and teach them how to climb. So hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8 Second Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down each and every rank in order to teach you how to start climbing in your own. Now there are going to be some things mentioned in this video that I won't be able to really go in depth on. But if you want the best place to learn about all the small details of Apex, you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there, we have guides made from top level players teaching you about very specific areas of Apex. We have legend guides, gun guides, VOD reviews, and much more. The kind of stuff you will not find anywhere else because how in depth it is. So if you really want to start climbing in Apex, click the link in the description, get yourself a membership, or your favorite teddy bear will be taking a trip to a farm upstate. So now let's get back to the video at hand, and I just want to make something clear before I start going over these tips. While the advice today will be targeted towards specific ranks to give them as much information to help them as I can, everyone will benefit from watching the ranks that aren't even their own, as these concepts build onto one another and there's no better time to learn than right now. So with that being said, let's get right into it and start off with our bronze and silver friends. I'm going to address these together because you run into a lot of the same issues. To start getting out of these ranks, you shouldn't be focused or worried about winning games or abusing OP guns or legends. That can come later. The most important thing for this rank is learning fundamentals. Bronze and silver players should be focused on building mechanics that will persist throughout their time in game. For example, something you can do and work on every game is your looting speed. And I'm not talking about how fast you loot an entire POI, I'm talking about the time it takes you to see an item, register if you want it or not, and then pick it up or leave it. This is something that needs to be a second nature. You basically should be able to autopilot when looting. If you ever stop to look at the difference in looting speed between someone who's in, say, diamond versus someone who's in silver or bronze, there is a clear gap and something that can actually cause you to lose games. Other things you want to focus on is building habits that will pay off down the line. You're new enough to the rank grind that it's easy to unlearn bad habits and learn good ones before it's too late. If you go season after season making the same mistakes, it's pretty hard to break those mindsets and playstyles that can cause you to fall into the hard stuck routine. Some key things to get used to are free looking when skydiving, using hotkeys because I see a lot of people clicking healing items or stuff along those lines, you need to stop it, and learning how to be comfortable in gunfights and not panicking when being shot at. This is one that just comes over time, getting into fights and not stressing over them. It's a video game, take a deep breath and relax. And the last thing is to start being a one trick or only playing a maximum of 2 legends. There's a lot to learn in this game, and you don't need to add anything more to your plate by constantly changing what legend you want to play. If you're having a hard time trying to decide what legend or role to play, we do have videos here on YouTube to help you with just that, so go check them out after this one. But now you've made it to gold. You're building good habits, but you aren't 100% sure where to go from here. Well, gold is where a lot of people start to suffer from their gun skill and ability to fight. They aren't sure where to position in fights, they overcommit to things, and they never really think fights through or miss key details in said fights. A lot of gold players that I see often fall into the same habits of running the same gun over and over and over because they don't know how to use any other one, or they just don't take the time to learn recoil patterns or tips for specific weapons. If you're in gold, you need to start taking the time to learn small details about the guns in Apex. The abilities of the legends is fun and all, but guns are what win the fights. There are very simple guns like the R301, the Rampage, the triple takes, and shotguns that can carry squads easily while being very beginner friendly. All you need to do is take the time to go into the firing range, learn some recoil control and figuring out what distances you can play each weapon, and that's very key in climbing this rank. Knowing what ranges you are effective from will help you not overcommit to fights and learn to take things slower in game. Another thing you need to be thinking of is target prioritization. meaning you need to figure out who the biggest threat is, or who you need to be focusing in fights, who carries the biggest risk to your team, or simply who is an easy cleanup kill. For example, if you happen to notice a Lifeline wander away from her team, you know that you need to jump on that right away. Lifeline has no movement abilities. She's very easy to lock down if she isn't near her team. So if she's split off, you need to know how to abuse that and jump on it before she's able to get back to their team. And a great way to learn this kind of things is to watch other players that are higher elo. Pick your favorite pro player and see how they look at fights. A lot of it is muscle memory to them, but you'll be able to notice how they register who to focus, and when they win fights, it's because they knew who to take out and could easily steamroll teams because of it. And going forward though, congratulations, you've made it to Platinum, but for a lot of people, this isn't enough. Platinum is the average rank for an Apex Legends player, and for a lot of people, this ends up being the end goal because they just lose motivation. With this rank though, players are more comfortable with their guns and have built some decent habits. But the biggest thing keeping these players here is their rotational skills. I see it all the time in plat players. No one knows how to properly read a zone or know how it pulls, so they have no idea where to get themselves in order to play placement points. To get around that, a lot of them just say that they're edge players because you don't need to know how to read a zone if you don't care where it pulls. Now, I have already done a full video dedicated to reading zones on the GameLeap channel, so if you want to learn how to do that, go check that out after this one. But a lot of people have the mindset of if they play for zone, then they are campers, and I absolutely hate when people say this. I have literally laid out exactly how to climb out of Platinum for people, and they return with, "Yeah, but playing for endgame is camping and I don't want to do that," and then they proceed to stay hard stuck Platinum 4. If I were to say sit in a building with 3 shotguns trained at the door in case someone walks in, that would be one thing, but learning how to rotate to an endgame building and holding it by showing presence and establishing yourselves is another thing. I'm going to say this as clearly as I possibly can. This is one thing that will get you out of Platinum alone. You could literally never fire a bullet, but just by learning how to play for placement will carry you out and into Diamond. And learning how to rotate is a skill that transfers into the next couple of ranks so well that it's not even funny. I know Masters players who have no idea how to rotate. There's a lot of them that can't read zones, and it's honestly sad. So get a leg up on them and learn these things to help you out on your climb. Now we're getting into Diamond. This is where a lot of people's target ranks are because this is where you get a dive trail. But what if you don't like blue? Well, the best way to climb out of Diamond is to start learning how other teams play the map. Up until this point, everything that I've said has to do with yourself, and nothing has been about other people. Well, Diamond is where that changes. Because of how third-party heavy the game is currently, and especially in Season 12 when we have Olympus and Kings Canyon in rotation for ranked, meaning it's just third-party central this season. You need to start figuring out how other teams are playing and starting to set yourself up to avoid them. When I'm watching Diamond players, a lot of the time, none of them stop to ask how other teams will be playing the game. Will people be rotating through certain choke points at times? How many teams are in the area before a fight? So on and so on. It's big questions that you need to be asking in order to start climbing. Actually, funny enough, this is one of the things that we had to start hammering into one of my teammates. He would just make a plan for us without thinking about how the other teams would be on the map. He would just say something like, "We go here," when there was clearly a team there and we had to stop and make him think about all the other teams rotating. Once you're able to get into this mindset and knowing where other teams most likely are going to be, you can start to take safer fights, rotate with less chance of third parties, and overall be setting yourself up to climb because you aren't throwing yourself into meaningless fights in order to prove how good you are. Seriously, no one cares if you drop 10 kills on a ranked game. They mean nothing after that cap. But now we're reaching the end of the rope. This is our Masters players. If you're a Masters player and are struggling to climb, it's more than likely that you just abused one specific thing to climb. Maybe it was your aim, maybe it was your playing placement ability, but you didn't learn key skills on the climb up. You saw one thing that worked and you did it over and over and over again. If this is you, all you need to do is watch this video again. Figuring out what skills you're missing and starting to work on them either in ranked or pubs, it doesn't matter, just start drilling them into your head. This one is very short and very straight to the point, but that's because a lot of Masters players that are 10k Andes are lacking skills because they just didn't have to learn them and they're now suffering the consequences. That is literally all I can say for these people. There's no magic button to make it from Masters to Predator, you just have to put in the time learning what you missed out on. Climbing the ranks in Apex isn't actually as hard as some people think it is. Using these fundamentals, I have no doubt in my mind that you'll be able to make it to a new peak rank. If you guys have any questions or feel that I missed out on something about a rank, drop a comment down below, or swing by one of my streams over on Twitch TV/8secondgaming. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button to stay up to date with all of our Apex Legends videos that are coming out. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8secondgaming, and I will see you in the next one.